Hi everyone and welcome back to Keep the Peace. Today we're gonna have another fun LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising review. But this time it's a bit special because we're gonna look at 3 sets at once. We're gonna look at set number 71777, Kai's Dragon Power Flip. We're also gonna look at set number 71778, Nia's Dragon Power Drift. And set number 71779, Lloyd's Dragon Power Spin. These have 72, 57 and 56 pieces. All of them go for $10.99 in dollars, $9.99 in euros, and $8.99 in pounds. Before we get into the review, I want to give a big thank you to the LEGO Ambassador Network for sending us all of these sets. That being said, I'm going to give you my fair and honest opinions about them. And one thing before we start, I also want to show you a bit of the packaging of these. These have a very nice front with like a big cover and a picture of the spinner. But if you look at the back, there's basically a small box with the actual set inside, but there's some nice illustrations, the minifigure and all that. And you can basically just open them on the side and get your set out. So very nice packaging, reminds me a lot of the Versus set, but now it's time to get into the review. Here's a quick look at what you get with these sets. We've got 3 minifigures, of course, which are Lloyd, Kai and Nia. Each of them come with their little spinners. And something that's kind of like a traffic cone for the tricks, either fire, these spikes, or water. We've got something that holds their golden dragon energy core, and all of the sets also come with one of these little robot guys. We're gonna start by taking a look at the minifigures. Each of these sets comes with one ninja, and it's always the ninja that's in the name of the set, of course. So from left to right, we have Nia, Lloyd, and Kai. All of these minifigures are exclusive to these spinner sets. They all use the new shoulder armor and hood piece, even though the hoods are printed in this set, which I think is really nice. Nia has some nice water details on hers, while Lloyd has some cool flourishes and Kai has some flame details. I'm personally a really big fan of these printed hoods. I think they add a lot visually compared to the unprinted ones that look a bit flat in my opinion. They all have the leg printing reused from the regular suits from the other sets of this wave, but they have a custom torso print. Because of that, some of the leg printing doesn't really line up with the torso very well, but I think it looks nice overall. The torso overall has a very energy look, like there's elemental power coming out of their bodies, but there seems to be some samurai style armor over it. If we turn the minifigures to the side, we can see that they all have transparent arms. I'm pretty sure that we've only ever had left arms in trans bright green, so the right arm in trans bright green seems to be a new real color, which is very nice to get. If we turn them all the way around to the back, we can see the shoulder armor could hold 2 katanas here, but they don't include katanas in this set. It also lines up nicely with the back print where you can see that little emblem going through that hole in the shoulder armor. Without the armor, we get a better look at all that beautiful printing. We can see in the front of all the torso we have this dragon symbol, and we can see the energy coming out of the characters from underneath. I think the armor itself also looks really cool. Nia has the silver and gunmetal design, I especially like hers, but all of them have some metallic printing. I do really like that they give silver to Kai. Usually he's always associated with gold, but I think the silver works very well here. Lloyd of course has the gold, makes perfect sense with his character. I also put their alternate faces facing forward. These are the exact same faces we get in all the other sets of this new wave. On the back you can also see the armor continues there, including that energy look. I once again really like how Nia's looks with those 2 shades of metallic printing. All of them have a little round emblem on their back. In the middle it has the first letter of their names in Nin jargon. On the back of the heads you can here see those mask prints. Those are the same as in the other sets. All of them have kind of like a Prime Empire style face mask that will go through the hood. And Nia has some water details on hers. Lloyd seems to have dragon scales, while Kai has red flames. Here's how all the minifigures look without their shoulder armor but with their masks on. I think it looks a bit goofy, but for people interested, here's how it looks. Here's how the ninja look with their other faces underneath their masks. And I also wanted to show you how the ninja look with their hair pieces, even though these sets don't come with hair pieces. I think they look really nice with the hair pieces on. Overall, they all work very well and it's nice that you can put them on there. As I said in the other review, for Nia's hairpiece it doesn't perfectly fit, you kind of have to move the head up a little bit. But I also wanted to show you guys how it looks with the hair pieces with headbands, and I think especially Nia's works very well here because that one fits on great. but once again, there are no hair pieces included in this set. Finally, I also just wanted to give you a quick look how these standard suits from the other sets would look with these printed hoods. And I think actually that looks really good. I like the printed hoods a lot. I think you can probably tell. I think it adds a lot to the design to have some printing on that hood piece. In each of these sets, the respective ninja also comes with some kind of minifigure accessory. First of all, we have Nia. She has a cool trident with some added water splash design at the bottom. Lloyd has like this big shuriken with green blades. And Kai has these fire blast pieces. They often come in LEGO superhero sets and you can shoot them off by pressing on the back of them. First, let's take a general look at how these spinners are built. All of these spinners use this new piece. This is kind of a piece that can hold 3 dragon cores. There's 2 studs in the middle for the minifigures and 3 studs on the outsides to build stuff upon. On the bottom you have a 2x2 anti-stud as well as 3 anti-studs to build upon. And you can basically just put the dragon energy cores into those big loops. And then in the middle you have space for your minifigure. Looking at Lloyd's spinner first, we can see he has 3 green dragon energy cores. There's also a nice build around them with some golden blades and some green wedge plates. On the bottom you can see this rounded plate with a round bottom. And there's also a 2x2 round plate above that in lime. Lloyd's set is called Dragon Power Spin because this one is specialized on just spinning. So you put in your Lloyd minifigure, hold on to the minifigure and just spin the whole construction just like a classic Ninjago spinner. For the Kai one we have the orange dragon energy cores and there's some red slopes on the 3 sides as well as a golden ingot. On the bottom you can see there's another one of those round plates. But this time there's no 2x2 round plate above that. There's also 3 inverted curved slopes on the 3 sides. So you put in your Kai minifigure and you can spin it while holding the minifigure. As opposed to Lloyd's spinner, this one spins on the dragon energy cores, which results in it not spinning as well. But this one has a different feature. This is the Dragon Power Flip. It has a second function where you basically push on one of the ingots and it will flip. For Nia, we have a bit of an asymmetrical design. We have 2 golden blades in the front and 2 water-like pieces in the back. There's the blue dragon energy cores. These are the same ones that come in Zane's Spinjitzu race car. And at the bottom we also have some asymmetry. We have of course that 2x2 round plate with the rounded bottom again, but we also have 1 inverted slope. If we look at it from the top, there's also a slope here. So what we do with this one is we put in Nia, we push the finger on that slope and the construction will drift. Here's another drift from a better angle. Like the Kai one, this one can also just spin on the dragon energy cores. In every one of these sets we also have a little structure that holds the golden dragon energy core. The goal here is usually to knock them over or knock out the golden dragon energy core. Nia's structure kinda looks like a goblet. It's filled with little blue studs. And what you want to do here is you knock it over so the golden dragon energy core as well as all the studs will fall over and you'll never find them again. For the Lloyd one you have this little column. These column pieces are not connected in any way. So what you want to do is you spin against it to knock it over. And for the Kai one you have this big fire column. So first of all I'm going to show you the Nia one. You basically just want to drift against it and knock over the whole goblet construction. Next up we have the Kai one. This one's a bit harder. You basically want to jump up and knock down the dragon energy core. For the Lloyd one, you just want to spin it against that column. It's sometimes a bit hard to control where it goes while spinning it. All the sets also have these little obstacles, kind of like traffic cones. For Nia we have what looks like little water fountains. These are built with blue flame pieces. For Lloyd we have these spikes. Maybe they're supposed to be dragon horns or something like that. And they have lime dishes underneath. And for Kai we basically have the same construction as Nia's, but in orange for fire. The idea for the Nia one is basically just to drift through the gap between the two. For the Kai one you're supposed to put them closer together and jump over them. And for the Lloyd one, you're also supposed to spin through the gap between them, even though I personally think it's way funnier to hit them because sometimes you can really send them flying quite far. Each of the set also comes with a little Imperium Droid. Nia's has claws and it can spin. The same kinda applies for Lloyd, but this one has blades instead of claws, but it can also spin. Kai's is a bit different where it can't spin and it has this tall staff. The idea for Nia's one is once again to just drift into the little robot. For Lloyd's, you also just want to spin against it and send it flying. But for Kai's, you basically want to jump over the staff of the robot. I personally recommend pushing on the side that's very close to the robot. That way I think it's more likely to jump over it and not backwards. I want to note here that while I of course showed you the times where it worked out and I did all the tricks, that of course was often after a couple of tries. Some of them are of course not that easy to pull off, but I think that's part of the fun, part of the challenge in doing these. I also wanted to give you a better look at all of the Dragon Energy cores. I think these are really nice pieces in general. You can see with the golden one that there's basically an inner, more intricate ball and an outer shell. All of these have some really nice look to them. The three on the left have all some kind of opalescence. I really like the color of them. They look very nice. And finally, I also want to give you some personal tips I found out while playing around with these. If you want to store them a little bit better and you have Nia's and Lloyd's and you don't want all the studs to fall out all the time, you can just connect the structures that hold the Golden Dragon Energy Core from Nia and Lloyd, and that way you can't lose all of those studs in there. I also wanted to show you that you can kinda do the spinning that the Lloyd one can on all of them if you just add the 2x2 round plate underneath. I showed it here for you for the Kai set, for example. That set even has that piece for one of the structures. So if you want that spinning feature for any of the other ones, you can very easily mod them to achieve that. Here you can see the 3 piles of spare pieces for this one. There's some good pieces in there. For the Nia one, for example, you get some claws. In the Lloyd one, you get one of those spikes. I got a 1x2 jumper plate for the Kai one. I don't think that's normal. That piece usually isn't a spare piece in LEGO sets. These sets don't have regular instruction booklets. You basically just have one folded sheet. This sheet has the instructions on it, and it's supposed to show you how the little challenges are supposed to go. None of these sets have any stickers, of course. Okay, I hope you all had a fun time watching me try to do all of those tricks, but I want to give you my final thoughts about these sets. These sets kind of are your classic gimmick style Ninjago spinner sets. We've always had these, and these are basically the new generation of that concept. And I think they do a good job. What I think is really cool about these is that they are different. They're not all the same. They do different things, so it's not just clone sets in different colors. They put some thought into it and they gave them basically different functions, and I think that's a cool idea. But that being said, I think it ends up with a case of some of them being cooler than others. Personally, if you only want to get one of these, I would recommend getting Kai's. I was really impressed by the flip function. I think that's the coolest one. When I heard this is gonna flip, I was like, is that actually gonna work? But it actually works really well, and it's a lot of fun. And also, as I said earlier, if you want Lloyd's function, you can very easily modify any of the others to get that function too. So if you only want it for the function and you only want to get one, I personally would recommend you Kai's. That being said, I think a lot of people will probably choose the one with their favorite ninja or favorite color. And minifigure wise, I think my favorite one is Nia's. I really like the Nia minifigure with the metallic print, which sadly her function kind of is not quite my favorite. It works a lot better on a very smooth surface. This one is very surface area dependent, and the function works. I just think Kai's is cooler. I also think it's generally just really cool that we get a Nia one. We haven't had a Nia spinner or gimmick set since 2018, so it's nice that we finally have another Nia one of these. I think it's probably because it seems to be that Kai, Nia, and Lloyd are the most prominent of the old ninja in this season, so it makes a lot of sense to have the gimmick sets for these 3. In general, I really like these minifigures. The torso prints are very nice, very elemental. I like the metallic, and I really like the hood pieces. I very much like the printed hoods. I really wish they had some printing on all the regular ninja suits, but it's nice that we at least get some printing on the hoods here. They reused the legs from the normal suits. That's been standard for the spinner sets for the last couple of years, so I'm not really surprised about that. One problem I noticed sometimes is when you spin these, and they tell you to grab onto the figure to spin them, a lot of times the hood will fall off because the hood is a separate piece. So I recommend you try grabbing them on the shoulder piece and not the hood, otherwise your hood will be sent flying. I want to talk about the price a little bit. These are $10.99, which is $1 more than spinner sets have usually been for ages now, except for the Dragon Master ones. But I think that's probably just inflation hitting these. The euro price is still $9.99, the pound price $8.99. I think that price is okay. I think that's what you would expect for these spinners type sets from Ninjago. So I think it's okay. I think these are fine. These are fun sets. I like the little challenges they have. You will have a fun time. I don't think you might need all of them, except if you're a minifigure collector. I think you get a pretty good experience out of one of them, even though they have different functions. And I think the likelihood of you having the pieces to modify them to test the other functions is also very high. But yeah, as I said, if you want to only get one and you only care about the function and not your favorite color or your favorite ninja, I personally recommend getting the Kai one. That function was the most fun to me. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the review. I once again want to thank the LEGO Ambassador Network for sending us these sets. I had a lot of fun with these reviews, especially this one. It was a lot of fun trying to do all those little tricks. And I hope you tune in the next time when we look at more Ninjago Dragons Rising sets. See ya!